Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. I am so happy to share some energy with you today. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, and I want to jump right into the video. I have gone through a thing. For those of you that watch, you know, but one of the lessons that I extracted while I was on this journey over the last year is that God will allow you to live your nightmare so that you can manifest your dream. I wrote it down, my handy dandy notes. I wrote it down. God will allow you to live your nightmare so that you can manifest your dream. What does that mean? We create from contrast. This is one of the lessons that I teach my clients, and it's one of the lessons that I heavily believe in. It's something that I learned from Eckhart Tolle as well as Miguel Ruiz. We create from contrast, right? So if we are not living a life that lines up with our internal vision, what we will do is we will live that fully and express it fully until it's so uncomfortable that we have no choice but to pivot for change. In my situation and on my journey specifically, I lived in the last year, not in this last year, this last calendar year, I've actually been in a place of healing. But the 2 years prior to that, it was a nightmare for me. I was being obligatory to a situation and a relationship and a friendship where somebody just didn't value me and was kicking me in the face and trying to push me away because they were reliving some like weird mean girl high school thing, and I couldn't understand it. And I was loyal to a fault. I'm going to just share this journey with you a tiny bit. I am a Leo sun and a Taurus moon, which means that I'm fixed. I'm very fixed in my chart. There's other areas too, but what it also means is that, and a Scorpio and Uranus. So that means that I can be fixed to drama too, because Uranus is like the planet of surprises and things that change quickly. So I didn't want to budge, even though God had given me every sign that this was no longer healthy. It was toxic. This person didn't value me. I should move on. I should move on. It was time to move on. And I didn't do any of that because I felt like it would be disloyal to move on, to be honest with you. That Leo really worked against me in that moment because I didn't want to move on because I didn't want to be a bad friend. I thought, what will everybody say? What will everybody think? Well, I just turned 40 over the summer, guys. I don't give a damn anymore what everybody thinks and says. But that took me years and years and years to get to, because what I realized was I was sacrificing myself for what? I was living in a nightmare for who? This person didn't appreciate it. The people that hated me around her because they were jealous or intimidated, they didn't care. It was me dragging myself straight through the purest hell for the sake of a friendship that the other person didn't give a single fiznuk about, okay? Not one. They didn't care at all. So I had to really get myself and have a conversation. And I had to say to myself, self, I had to look in my mirror, self, what are you doing here? And God would whisper periodically, touch my shoulder through his angels and say to them, ask her, has she had enough? Sometimes he would whisper it to me too. Has she had enough yet? Is she done trying to prove she's the best friend in the world? She's the most golden of golden girls. Who is she proving it to? We already know her character. We already know what we imbued her with. So why is she insisting on living a nightmare? Well, I was insisting on living that nightmare because I didn't value myself. Honestly, that's the truth. Because I valued the friendship and the person far more than I valued what was pleasurable or good or kind to me. She was rude and disrespectful and disgusting, and I was so disappointed. But I was like, you know, whistle while you work, be a good friend, and just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I was like an android. I just wouldn't stop. I was like the Roomba. And you know how like you can push the Roomba away and it might go in a different direction, but then it comes back. This person didn't care about me, didn't want me in her life. And also, it wasn't just about that. It was a lesson on a deeper level from God to say, do you value my voice? You're putting so much credence into this relationship that's this man-made thing, but it's now, I'm out of it. This person's voided your soul contract. All the reasons that you were there, all the things that you thought you owed to her, you owe her none of these things. She voided the soul contract because she didn't understand, and this is not even about her. And actually, it stopped being about you and her years ago. She's walked away and been over this years ago. You're the one who's been faithful and loyal. She did not care. So they said, we're going to let you be fully immersed in a nightmare. We're going to whisper to you. We're never going to leave your side. My angels and ancestors never left my side. In fact, they got me out of it. But what I will tell you is that they asked me, are you done living your nightmare? Are you done living your long national nightmare? I think we guys, a lot of us just lived one here if you're in the States. It might be over. But anyway, that's another video for another time. My angels are asking me, are you done subjecting yourself at the altar of this loyalty for a divine counterpart who is no longer divine, who has sold her soul long ago? So they let me be really rejected and let me go through a lot of painful situations in order to move past it, to find my own voice, to find my own strength, and to realize that what I was creating was happening even in the mess. Every time that person didn't behave like a best friend should, or didn't answer, or didn't respond, or didn't care, or didn't engage, or didn't support me the way I had infinitesimally supported her, you know what God did was he showed me other people that would. And I didn't want to see it because as a Leo, Taurus moon, I can be super fixed, like I said. So I was holding on to that relationship with her thinking it was the end all be all. When the truth of the matter is that God was like, no, we can give you something so much better, so much more in alignment with you. Now, let's go to your story. What is your story? Who or what have you held on to? What job have you held on to that was a nightmare, that was a soul sucker? What friendship, what relationship, what boyfriend, what girlfriend, what parental dynamic that you knew didn't suit you anymore, but you lived the nightmare? And the reason you were allowed to live the nightmare is so that you could manifest your dream, so that you could manifest the thing that works for you. I was creating from contrast every time that person treated me like crap. Every time I allowed, can I take some responsibility for my own codependency, that person to treat me like crap, because I felt like that's not just what I deserve, but I felt like this is what a good friend does. And that's not. A good friend cusses that friend out, tells her, get your shit together, holler back at me when you're done. That's no longer on the table for that friend. But there was a time when it could have gone that way. And I even tried in diplomatic ways to do that. But I realized that I was not supposed to be there. And that was the message. So I was allowed to live fully immersed in my nightmare so I can manifest my dream. I am not exactly at the full dream. You know, this is not a Martin Luther King speech today. I have a dream, but I have noticed that there are drips and drabs of the thing that I thought I had with her actually coming in the form of other energies and people. And it's authentic, and it's filled with boundaries, and it's filled with health and communication, and it's filled with consistency. It's everything I wanted from that person. But I had to get tired of living my nightmare to be able to really start to harness and bring in my dream. I want you guys today, especially my sweet empaths, we overgive, sweeties. And I'm at the point in my life where you can borrow my FU. I got a lot of them. I have no Fs to give, no fizz-nuts, none of it. Everyone could get cussed out. Everyone could get told off. And I do it with love and edification. If I cuss you, I'm still going to bless you. And I don't mean in the Southern bless your heart kind of way. I mean, I'm actually going to edify you with real information about your life that I've ascertained because I'm observant and intuitive and spiritually connected. And you are too, empath. If you're in a nightmare, you don't have to just blow everybody off. But if you do decide to walk away from some of the nightmares, you can still give them a hand up, but not for too long, because of inevitably, if you're in a nightmare, a bad relationship, a toxic situation, it can pull you down. Energy is shared, and you have to be very strong to withstand that. And I was beginning to get physically diminished and emotionally diminished, trying to stay in the trenches, trying to save somebody who didn't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. It reminds me of Drake. I've had a lot of Drake energy lately. In one of his songs, he says, I used to say money in the grave. That's what it is. He said, I used to save hoes with a mask and a cape. Now I'm like, nah, love, I'm good. Go away. Some of you empaths out there need to adopt that, whether you are divine feminine or a divine masculine. I used to save hoes with a mask and a cape. Now I'm like, nah, love, I'm good. go away. That's how I feel to a lot of the situations in my life, because they were nightmares. Nah, love, I'm good. I don't need to prove anything to you. Me being your best friend while you're being basura, trash, does not make you a better friend or me a better friend. It's a unhealthy situation. So that's the message I wanted to give to you guys today. Ask yourself, how long are you going to live the nightmare so that you can prove to yourself how magical you are? Divine empath, divine feminine, divine masculine, whoever is here listening, you do have a path that's right for you, and you can live the dream. I will record videos until I do not have breath in my body to show you that I've manifested a dream in my own ways. And today we are here, but I feel way up. I feel blessed. We're going all the way up, okay? All the way up. Who is that? Remy Ma, Fat Joe? All the way up. We're going all the way up. And I want you to be part of that journey with me. And I want you to begin your journeys with me here. Leave your comments below if you've been in a nightmare and you're ready to wake up. You can have a sweet dream. And sometimes we paint it with gold and gild it that it's a beautiful nightmare, but those nightmares are never beautiful. They're just patinaed in nostalgia, and they're retrofitted with antiquated, outdated ideas of who you once were. Looking back over your yesterdays, you see reflections of you and them, reflections of the way things used to be, reflections of the love that you allowed someone to take from thee. It's time for you to give that love back to yourself, empath. It's time for you to water your dreams with that love. Wake up from the nightmare. God's got you. Your angels have got you at 11:11. We're manifesting together. Come back and join me. It's really nice to live in the dream. We will continue to evolve together.